into the building after the initial call came through to hear that gunfire and then have to evacuate the building, prompting this major response from Inglewood PD and all of those surrounding agencies.
What are we looking at right here, Chris? It looked to me, it's very hard to see because it's dark, that they were possibly escorting someone out? No. Am I not seeing that correctly?
I have not seen anything like that, but they are. They're just kind of surrounding the building. They're taking up position around multiple buildings here. This campus, again, not a big campus, but there are a handful of buildings. In addition to that main building on Aviation, there are some buildings in the rear here, and they are basically looking for all the exits, all the entrances, surrounding the building, and making sure that they have the situation contained before the fire department gets back in. That they really have to lock this whole property down before they can attend to those victims that are reported inside the building, and obviously make sure that they have the SWAT team on standby surrounding the area once they isolate the location and the whereabouts of that shooter who is believed to be barricaded in that building. Again, early reports, 2 to 3 patients, whether that includes the gunman or whether it's 2 patients or 3 patients plus a gunman, we just don't really know. That's all very, very fluid information. But as you can tell here, just in the few minutes that we've been on the air here, we continue to see more and more officers on foot basically flood this entire campus, making sure that this threat is minimized.
Yeah, and it's not the largest of campuses, but there's still a lot of ground to cover, a lot of cars parked in that area, several buildings, and we're seeing dozens and dozens of officers, a heavy police presence, as we're seeing from Air 7, and as Ashley Mackey reported, Inglewood PD is on the ground, County Fire is on the ground. Chris, you were mentioning Manhattan Beach. PD is also there, Hawthorne PD, but we are waiting for the sheriffs to come in and take over as lead investigators in this.
Wow, look at that. Oof.
Presumably, they would be the ones to eventually take this over, but you know, I mean, it's yet to be seen. That is not official. That's just a guess on my part. Just from experience here, you can see a lot of agencies working together here. The closest LA County Sheriff's Office would be the Century Division, presumably, and that's me presuming that they are on their way over here. We just have not seen that with our own eyes yet. Right now, we can only say for sure that there are at least 24 Inglewood units, more on the way, a handful from Manhattan Beach, some from El Segundo, Hawthorne PD as well, mainly taking part in the traffic control around this this unfolding situation. Again, this is all happening adjacent to LAX. Occasionally, you will even see the large shadows of those airliners flying right over this crime scene and landing at LAX right there from west to east. So it is very close to LAX, an industrial area along Aviation Boulevard, north of Century Boulevard, where all of the hotels are. The stretch that we're talking about is basically from Manchester Avenue to Century Boulevard along Aviation Boulevard. That is now completely locked down, and more law enforcement rolling into this area as we speak.
Yeah, just by that's a rental place right there, isn't that, Chris, that you were mentioning?
That's Hertz.
That is Hertz. So that is how close folks are trying to get in and get out of their rental cars to this breaking situation. It adds to the complication. The complications are vast. The buildings that are there, the vehicles that are there. You could see some of the officers running to kind of complete a stack before they go into these buildings and search the buildings. And by the way, further confirmation that 3 people now are in fact injured. We're not saying they were shot. We don't know yet specifically how they're injured, but confirmation that 3 people have been injured as you see more planning going on around this campus. But that's basically, you see the bullet points there, possible active shooter near Spartan College, 3 people injured, at least 1 person barricaded in the building. Multiple law enforcement agencies are on the scene. And I imagine, Chris, part of the reason why so many people are responding is not so much because of the enormous amount of, you know, perhaps there could be 1 shooter, could be more, but it's more about the complication of deeming this area eventually safe.
That's right, and there is some chatter from sources I'm hearing from with Inglewood that the suspect perhaps actually had the opportunity to flee this area. So whether he is barricaded or was able to flee, there is now some conflicting reports as to whether he is still at this location or whether he was able to get away before they were really able to lock down and form a perimeter around this building. But what I am being told is that there are 2 patients, 1 person in critical condition, and 1 person perhaps outstanding.
Okay,
that would pose a whole new set of complications and challenges for law enforcement if that shooter did, in fact, flee. We want to check back in with Ashley Mackey. She is on the ground near, I believe you said, Ashley, you're at Manchester and Aviation. Any chance you've been able to speak with anyone with any new details?
So far, we haven't been able to speak with anyone new, and you're all right. I am at Manchester and Aviation, right as Aviation turns into Florence. You can see behind me, we're still quite a ways away from where the incident is, but you can see down there, that's probably about a 6-minute walk down Aviation to where all of those police vehicles are, and you can see all those lights. There are a couple of bystanders around where I am here at the corner of Manchester and Aviation. So far, no one has spoken with me, but I have seen some people around here that look like they are witnesses with college shirts on that could be related or have information related to the incident, but so far we have not been able to get any additional information from witnesses or bystanders. We do also, and are respecting the police, we're seeing them get those statements from the witnesses, so we also want to give them their room to do their job, but they have a very wide perimeter set up here. Like I said, we're about a 6-minute walk away from where all of those police cars, and you can see police cars are still zooming in and out of here trying to get to the scene down there, but they've got a very wide perimeter roped off here. But I will, as I'm here at Manchester and Aviation, as I see witnesses come, I of course will be trying to reach out and see if they have any additional information that I can give to you live while I'm here on scene. And Ashley, live in Inglewood, Ashley Mackey, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Ashley. And it is a Friday afternoon. People are heading home or heading wherever they're going. Are you seeing any traffic being affected by this closure?
A lot of traffic down here in Inglewood. I said earlier that I was actually on the other side, Arbor Vitae and Aviation, and just paired with the traffic from airports and people trying to get to their rental cars, drop off rental cars, and just getting off work, just regular rush hour traffic. There's a lot of congestion around here in this area, especially on Manchester, Florence, Arbor Vitae, anywhere around the circumference of the LAX area there's a lot of traffic backed up around here.
Yeah, what a mess to be in. Yeah. Tricky for travelers.
Thank you, Ashley.
Most importantly, what is going on the campus here at Aviation Boulevard and Hillcrest at the Spartan College? Let's go back to Chris Christie. And Chris, have you noticed anything new happening? Have you seen any actual SWAT teams gearing up?
No actual SWAT teams yet, but the information we have is that SWAT teams have been activated. Inglewood PD SWAT team, to be specific. Again, a handful of other agencies now. Redondo Beach PD being dispatched out here as well. So as you can tell, every time we take another look here, there is an additional agency responding to the scene with more and more and more backup.
What is going on, man? What's up, everybody? Welcome.
Out here surrounding Spartan College. There are lots of preliminary reports out there, lots of unconfirmed reports out there, but I think it's safe to say that there is some combination here of employees and or students that were involved in this shooting somehow. We don't know who's who. We don't know what the disposition is of the victims. We just know that there are 2 people shot, 1 person in critical, and the shooter perhaps was able to flee, although there's also a report that they were responding to a barricaded suspect. But as you can see here, we're looking at a much different posture here as those officers make their way back from the rear of the property back towards Aviation after methodically going through that parking lot, moving around these buildings, surrounding some of the buildings, and making sure that this campus is safe. It does appear that they are starting to casually walk back towards the main building. It's, again, unclear whether they have anybody else isolated in there, and I say it's unclear because we just can't visually see it. If that is happening, we don't see it. Everything we see here is starting to look like a much more static situation that is somewhat under control, but whether there is more taking place inside these buildings, again, we don't see it, and it's very difficult to listen in on the radios out here in the South Bay. So we are going off of what we are gathering on the ground there, as well as what we were able to put together from both up here and other witnesses as well, trying to piece this all together in real time for you. But again, 2 patients that we understand have been shot, 1 person in critical. The whereabouts of that shooter still unclear, but it's all happening at Spartan College here, where law enforcement is now moving through the campus, and a lot more backup arriving as we speak. Again, you can see more shadows moving right over this crime scene as those planes continue to land here at LAX. That's on the far south side of the crime scene. We are on the north side looking south along Aviation Boulevard right there through the center of your screen. Now hundreds of officers on scene.
Yeah. Have you heard anything about the patients, in particular concern for the critical patient? Have they been able to be evacuated out of the building yet?
I'm sorry, one more time, David.
Have you heard if the patients have been able to be evacuated from the building? Are they still there?
I have heard reports. I'm trying to monitor as many sources as I can off of social media, but I cannot confirm that that's taking place. I have seen reports to that effect, that there are people evacuated, including employees at the college here. Very hard to speak firsthand as to what's actually taking place. Just kind of, again, trying to read the tea leaves here and go off of as much as we can gather firsthand without really speculating too much. But we are seeing and hearing reports of evacuations taking place here, especially in the early moments following the shooting.
And I am hoping that the fact that they know that someone is in critical condition is because they have reached that person and, you know, they were able to assess their condition. We are also hearing from the fire department that the police department is still looking for the suspect, so they have not identified his location yet.
Bruce Thomas, let's bring him into the conversation. He is our law enforcement expert. And Bruce, you've been listening to the situation here. We do hear that one of the patients is in critical condition. Railroad? Could that be a sign that they've gotten the patients out?
Yeah, that's a good sign, meaning that they are rendering aid to the patients, and the patients hopefully are accessible to law enforcement and emergency response people for treatment. Meaning that they're not too far into the problem.
Bruce, I don't know if you just joined us again, if you've been watching our coverage, but just a few moments ago, Chris Christie in Air 7 was showing officers walking through the parking lot, and they seemed very casual. Just again, no one had their watching our coverage, but their weapons drawn. What do you make of that?
Yeah, what Chris Christie was showing from Air 7 HD is just that. It seems that the posture of the incident has changed, meaning they will start to release some more emergency personnel as they learn more information and determine that it is just a barricade. And I don't mean to minimize that. It's a barricade of one suspect with no other additional suspects out there.
Where's everybody at?
We're getting a little bit more information from our desk. They say that, according to the fire department, that the suspect search continues, and this may,
where's everybody at?
Work hand in hand with what Chris is hearing as well. Some concern that the suspect may have gotten out of the perimeter and gotten away, but we just don't know. It's tough to get these details right now. Here's a map we're showing you overhead of the area we're talking about being Inglewood, Aviation Boulevard, and right there in the center there is a Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology where all of this is happening. Of course, a lot of LAX traffic going on there as well. But if this suspect gets out of the perimeter, Bruce, what happens next?
Oh my God, okay.
Once they determine that has happened, and they'll only know that through a building search or a perimeter search, then they gather as much information they can about this person. Who are they? Where do they live? And that's where the detectives come into play to do a follow-up so that they can obtain search warrants and hopefully look for the suspect and take him or her into custody.
From the obvious point that this suspect is armed, we know he's armed. We know he opened fire at fire department workers who tried to come inside. We think they were paramedics. What else are officers concerned about?
Well, the fact that he, as you said, he's armed, he's dangerous. You have a high-degree felon in possession of a weapon who's already fired upon emergency personnel. So when they do locate this person or believe where they live, it's going to be a SWAT call-out, meaning a SWAT team will make a door knock and make entry onto a high-risk situation.
Okay. What happens then now? Do they keep all that law enforcement personnel there until they know for sure what's happening? Or do they start releasing people? There is a huge accumulation of people here.
Yeah, David, what we're seeing from Air 7 HD is a release of personnel. You're seeing police vehicles leaving the scene, police personnel getting into their vehicles from additional surrounding agencies, and they're leaving, which leads me to believe that the suspect may either be barricaded in one part of the building, and this is not part of the problem, or that he or she has fled the location.
And so what are the next steps if, in fact, the suspect has fled the location?
Well, they're going to break down the thing. It still is a crime scene, and they do have to have some officers maintain it, to bring in detectives to do some follow-up. But they're looking for this person actively. Hopefully they gain the information of who they are, where they live, that type of stuff. And then they will do a door knock. They'll do a SWAT high-risk entry.
All right, let's see if... Can we bring Chris Christie back into the conversation? I'm curious to see if he's been able to glean any more information on what's happening and what he's watching. Chris?
Yeah, David, just to go off of what Bruce is talking about right there, there does appear to be a bolo out for a suspect that was seen driving away in a security uniform with a gun from the scene of this shooting. They are on the lookout for a possible suspect. That may be the person that fled the scene. That does not take away from the fact that there is still an ongoing search at the college here to make sure there are no additional threats. So that search continues to the best of our knowledge from what we can gather here and from what we can see visually. It does appear that search is continuing, but there is also a bolo out for another suspect that they do have the identity of, and they are broadcasting. So we are not going to give that away because that is still unconfirmed, but we can tell you that that broadcast has been made to the South Bay agencies out here. So you can see we are starting to see a little bit more movement. Some of the units in front of Spartan College are being dismissed or at least moved and mobilized to other parts of the area here. This is a large perimeter that we're talking about here, and now with the information that they have that there may be somebody else on the run, maybe perhaps chasing down some of those leads as they become available. But there is apparently an identity of somebody who is wanted for questioning here, to say the very least, and we do understand a total of 2 patients as of this juncture, 1 person in critical after a shooting here at Spartan College in Inglewood, guys.
Chris Christie, thank you. This is Eyewitness News at 5, and this is a breaking story we have been following now. A massive police presence outside an aviation college with a barricaded suspect and 3 people wounded after a shooting at that school. I'm Mark Brown. Chris Christie is in Air 7 over the scene. Here's a look now. This is happening at Spartan College in Inglewood. It's on Aviation Boulevard, just south of Manchester. Eyewitness News reporter Ashley Mackey at the scene. Ashley, you are down there on the ground. What can you tell us about what you're seeing in terms of, you've got officers leaving now? Are they setting up a different perimeter? Can you tell what they're doing on the ground?
Gone. Felony Friday, baby.
Mark, we've seen a lot of police around here, a huge police presence here. I'm at the corner of Manchester and Aviation. You can see behind me the police cars where the incident actually takes place, or it took place, is a couple blocks down. It's about a 6-minute walk to get to those police lights down there. But there is, like I said, a very large perimeter. We're seeing police vehicles rush in and out of this perimeter. We're seeing witnesses starting to gather. We're also seeing law enforcement on the ground taking witnesses' statements. We did speak to the president of the school. He says safety is their utmost priority. But unfortunately, they are like us with not a lot of information. He did say they're not letting anyone in or out of the perimeter or the school. They did try and evacuate as many people as they could safely. Like I mentioned, I heard Chris earlier saying they're still looking for another suspect. Here we have some law enforcement vehicles exiting the perimeter now. Vehicles are going in and out here. The president, Chris Becker, he also mentioned that this doesn't happen. It's a relatively safe and quiet campus. Nothing like this has happened since he's been there. But again, they are here for their students and for the employees of the college. Take a listen.
It's an active investigation. We know that there was an event here at the campus. We have no information beyond that. Our first concern is our students and our employees, and we're all waiting, just like you, to find out what happened to everybody. Students and our employees are our first concern, and we're going to stay on site as long as we need to until the end of the night, just to make sure everybody's taken care of. If they need any kind of support, we're reaching out to families. We're doing everything we can to help.
When I was talking to him again, he says nothing like this has ever happened. A quiet, safe campus. They have 24/7 law enforcement patrols, security on campus. So this is all unprecedented, and we're all just gathering information as we get it. Live in Inglewood, Ashley Mackey, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, Ashley, based on what I have seen in terms of this class schedule there, they have morning classes that end 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then they have evening classes that start anywhere between 5 and 6 p.m. at night. So it may be, if this thing happened roughly in the 4 o'clock hour, there may not have been any classes happening at the time this shooting took place, which would certainly be good news in terms of students. Of course, not for the faculty and the folks who work there, but there would theoretically be fewer people on campus or in the buildings at that time, given what we know about when this happened. And thank you for that. Let's go to Chris Christie. I want to see, we did see a bunch of officers leaving this scene, far fewer police vehicles now at or in front of this college than there were just, 5-10 minutes ago. In fact, they're taking up down the yellow tape. Are they being redeployed to a larger perimeter, or do you see any sort of additional perimeter being set up, or are they being released like just out into the city?
I got to tell you, Mark, just from what we can tell up here, it appears as though a large number of those responding mutual aid units from the South Bay are indeed being released. And as you can see with the yellow tape coming out, this entire situation is starting to take on a much different profile, leading you to believe that they do believe that situation is contained. Obviously, a major investigation is about to ensue here with a command post being established in the area here, but it does appear that they have released a bunch of those units and might be tightening up that perimeter, although I can tell you Aviation Boulevard still remains shut down between Century and Manchester. We do understand a total of 3 people have been shot. 3 patients shot.
3 people shot.
That we can confirm from the battalion chief down there, and a suspect apparently either barricaded or perhaps an outstanding suspect wanted for questioning in relation to this incident. Again, details are few, but you can see even some of the people who were evacuated earlier are also perhaps being escorted into the offices here. So really starting to take on a very,
we got a student here that we're going to try and get some interview
here as we watch down Aviation Boulevard here in front of Spartan College, guys.
All right, Chris, thank you. Giovanna here with Mark Brown. We have an instructor from Spartan College on the line with us, Sean Grevender. Thank you for talking with us. Can you tell us what occurred this afternoon? Where were you? What did you hear? What did you see? Sean? All right, maybe we do not have him on the line. If we can get some clarification, we were hoping to speak with an instructor from Spartan College. Is that not, is he not on the line for us?
Okay, in the meantime, Ashley Mackey, it sounded to me like you had somebody very close by. Can you, do you have somebody, a student, perhaps?
Yes, I didn't really see anything.
Yes, so I'm here with Nova, and she is a student, but can you tell me, what do you know so far?
I don't have any information. I'm just trying to get in contact with my people and my friends and my mentors inside, because they're not allowing anybody access to like come in and out of the perimeter from my understanding. So I'm just trying to make sure everybody's okay.
What are you feeling? I know this is your school. To see something like this happen around, what should be a safe space? What are you going through?
Well, the instant concern is just making sure that, your loved ones are okay. So I'm getting in contact with them right now, and it seems like everything's fine. So we're just kind of trying to figure out what happened. I literally just got here, so I don't really know.
Did any kind of information go out to the students at all that you?
They don't know anything. They're just, kind of waiting on information as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us. I really appreciate it. Anything else that you can tell us I know we're all learning things as we go.
Yeah. No, just, being wary of your environments, checking up on your people whenever you can. Shout out my school, 1500. I hope, everybody's okay and we all come out cool.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Ashley, can you ask Nova if before she gets away, quickly get her. I wanted to know what classes would be happening on a Friday afternoon at roughly 4 o'clock. Would there be any classes in session at this time? Were there students likely on campus, or would the students have not been there?
So can you tell us, are there classes happening around this time usually? Like, we were trying to get an understanding of who exactly would be around this area during this time.
Yeah, well, my school is a 1500 Sound Academy. So we do have classes on Friday sometimes. Right now is pretty much our lab time. It's a music school. So we get to go in and work on our projects, our assignments, do collaborative work and stuff like that. So the school is open till like maybe 5 p.m. So the students that were in there earlier, some have been in there since like 11 in the morning. So yeah, I guess they're just like stuck there now. I'm not sure what's really going to go on with that. But there's classes held on Fridays.
And how close is 1500 compared to or in relation to the Spartan Aviation School?
We're kind of in the middle where like that cop car is right there. They're right on the right side of that. So it's relatively close, I would say.
So you'd say about this time there are students actively around this area?
Yeah, there's students inside the premises, sometimes outside. There's usually a lot of movement, I guess, going on as far as people being there and being around the area.
And right now other classmates who are stuck in...
Correct. Yeah, there's a couple students that are still inside there with staff, our instructors, and just a couple people that I know of.
What are they saying?
Well, I'm just going back and forth between calls because everyone's just trying to make sure, like, hey, are they okay? They were supposed to be out at 5, so I'm just seeing, what kind of, I guess, update they give me, because I don't even think they were aware that they were on lockdown. So they were planning to come out, and I'm like, I don't think they're letting you guys out right now. So they're figuring that out.
Thank you again. Thank you so much. So, Mark, you heard her. There are students in this area. She attends the 1500 Academy, which is a music school that's located just near the Spartan Aviation School. She says there are students, some of her classmates, that are stuck behind this barrier right now. They're on lockdown. They're with staff. But as far as she knows, none of her friends or classmates have been impacted as far outside of being stuck behind the barrier.
Yeah. All right. Ashley Mackey reporting live from Inglewood. Thank you.
So I went back to my room and started eating with the instructors over there. And while I was eating, I heard some gunshots.
In the same room?
No, actually, it was about 3-4 down, rooms down the way by the hallway. And we didn't know what's going on. I thought it was outside. So we just kept, sitting over there, and all of a sudden the dean came to us, say, hey, turn the lights on and off and close the doors and everything.
So the shots came from outside?
No, it's actually, we thought it was come from outside, but in reality it was from inside.
What is going through your mind? What was going through your mind at that time when you heard those shots go off?
I was shocked. I was just livid. I couldn't believe what I heard, in school. And plus the security guard is my friend over there. I talk to him all the time. We chill and this, but what he has in mind, I have no idea. I cannot speak to exactly what happened. I don't know the details between him and the 2 girls who were shot. And
yes,
it's so sad. It's just, I'm still in shock. I really cannot put it in words right now.
So you know those two women? They're colleagues of yours?
They're colleagues. I was just chilling with them and joking, actually, a minute ago. And I just went down there and boom, that's what I heard.
What have police told you now? And what are you all doing outside? Are they interviewing you?
Well, the police put us on the side for the people who work in that building, and they said they're going to question us and take our statements. So I'm willing to, help out whatever it takes to achieve justice if we can. I don't know, we can.
Tell me about the people who are outside. Are these students of yours?
Some of them are my students, that I taught before in previous classes. Some I don't know because the students come at 5:30 basically. So one of my students came early. I was going to give her exam and some quizzes because she missed yesterday the whole thing. So I just try to catch up. That's what it is.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. They're saying barricaded suspect, but they're also questioning maybe this person got away. Maybe not even there anymore. Got away. Felony Friday. I love the name of Felony Friday. We're going to have to make that a thing. Felony Friday. And this situation is in California. They're saying that 3 injured, 1 person shot. I don't know if other people have been shot as well. And they responded to the 8900 block of Aviation Boulevard after a report of a shooting. They said that 3 people were injured and a suspect was barricaded at Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology in Inglewood. Now they believe maybe he got away. Maybe he's already gone. Slipped through the cracks of California, where crime pays.
We don't have reason to believe the suspect is still present. However, we're doing a room-to-room search of the campus to ensure there are no further victims and there is no suspect or suspects still present.
Mayor, we heard earlier that at least one of the injured was in critical condition. Do you have any more information on that?
I have not received an update on the condition of either victim at this time.
Do you know where they were transported to, which hospital?
Well, by their location, they would have gone to Harbor General. That's the protocol.
Right.
If they had been north of Manchester, they would have gone to UCLA Westwood.
All right.
Both trauma centers. Yeah.
You have a unique outlook on this, being a former police officer, and if I remember correctly, police chief at one point. Your perspective,
police chief.
Exactly. So, give us your perspective here on what you're seeing, what you're hearing, and what's going through your mind. You got a suspect that may have broken through the perimeter and may be out at large somewhere.
I don't know that he was within the perimeter at the time that the officers arrived. Sure. We have no information that he stayed in the vicinity, but we are making sure, and that's what we do, we make sure and go room to room to make sure there are no further victims and or suspects that have not been identified. So right now, we don't have information to indicate that he is within the containment area, but this is what we do regardless.
Right. But there is some information to indicate that shooting suspect and perhaps another suspect is elsewhere?
No, we have. The only information I have is that there was a single suspect. It was alleged that he had a rifle. However, there are no shell casings to indicate that a rifle was used in the vicinity. The only thing that was found so far was a 9mm shell casing.
Okay, that would indicate a pistol, a semi-automatic pistol, because the shell casings are ejected rather than a revolver where they stay within the firearm. So
you're exactly right.
Okay, so that helps in the investigation. There might be fingerprints on those shell casings, correct?
Absolutely, there may be DNA on the shell casing, but it depends on whether that shell casing was connected to this crime.
Okay.
Do you know anything about the suspect at this time that you can share?
The only thing I have is the allegation that his garb was reminiscent of a security guard, and as soon as I get off the phone with you, I'll be going to the command post and get updated information.
All right, Mayor Butts of Inglewood, thank you very much.
Actually, before we let you go, do you have any information you can share about Spartan College?
I certainly do. It's an aviation maintenance technology program designed to teach students technical skills required to service, repair, and overhaul aircraft components and systems. They also have an airframe and power plant diploma regimen that shows them how to maintain aircraft.
How much of an asset to the community is it to have this college in Inglewood?
Well, so when I took office in 2011, we had a 17.5% unemployment rate. Our employment rate hovers around 5% now. Between schools like this and all the construction with the Intuit Dome, SoFi campus, the LA Philharmonic Youth Orchestra program, NFL Networks, this has had a great impact on the viability of the city of Inglewood.
All right.
I would imagine so. Do you have any idea on the enrollment at this college? And perhaps you may not have this answer, but perhaps how many students might have been there today?
I do not have that information as I sit here.
All right. Mayor James Butts, City of Inglewood, former police officer, three-time police chief as well. Thank you for your unique take on this, both as an elected official who has the overall view and as a law enforcement officer and a chief of police. We thank you for your information, which is pertinent as well to the investigation of this shooting that has taken place again at Spartan College of Aviation.
Yeah. I believe we want to check. Thank you. Thanks again. And Ashley Mackey is on the
So on the run, on the loose. Okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. I wonder what's everybody been doing today on Friday. I mean, we got 3,000 people, which is good, but I'd expect more, honestly. It's been like, what's going on? People watching Karen Reed, people out partying, people donating. Oh, there's a fight tonight. The fight tonight. Crime is alive and thriving in California, the city of dreams, the city where you can get away and murder and kill and rape and get out the next day and get a little slap on the wrist. By the way, the person earlier today in that chase passed away. They died, man. That chase earlier today. That guy was stealing from Target. I think it was a Target thief. And they caught on to him. So he decided to go on a crazy, wild chase and rear-ended some truck and passed away. So died over a theft, a Target theft. That's wild to me.
Body out of that area with all of the buses, the rental car buses, and people coming to drop off their rental cars. You can probably imagine how chaotic that scene was.
Belly Friday, baby.
But so far, we here in this area where I'm seeing, we don't have a lot of information. We see some employees. Earlier, we spoke with the president of the Spartan Aviation School. Again, he was just stressing safety as an importance, how as a school, they are here, present, ready to be of aid to any students or employees that they have available to them. But right here, I want to come bring over. Are you also a student?
Yeah, 1500 Sound Academy.
Okay, so I have one more student here. Tell me your name.
William Jones.
So William, obviously this is going on. Tell me what's going through your mind. Your school's located not too far from where this incident took place.
I mean, we were just in there because our school's closing down. It was like the last day. We were just coming to like learn, study, get like just catch up on, last minute. And they literally just told us that we couldn't leave, that it was shooters. Everything was like blocked off. And, we were just like, what? Like we didn't know what was going on. And we just seen it was a building with multi-levels, and we have a multi-level building, so we were just kind of like, what's going on? So we were just kind of like scared to go outside because we didn't know if, we have a locked gate, so we could have like, maybe they got in some, we don't know. So we just didn't know who it was.
So you guys were on lockdown. I'm assuming you just came out?
Yeah, we just came out of the school.
How long were you on lockdown, not without any information?
Maybe like an hour and a half.
What was going through your mind?
I hope that they get them. I was just like, we didn't know if, because we have people that come in and out, so maybe they could have gotten in the back way. We have, we have many people that's coming in taking stuff out of the building, so they could have snuck in that way. So we really didn't know. So we just kind of band together. The family that we are was like, let's just make sure we're safe. So
we spoke to the president of the school of Spartan, the Spartan Aviation School. He says that's fairly quiet campus, safe campus. They have constant security patrols going on. Is that the case? Is that how you feel?
I mean, yeah, because we monitor everything, so you have to push a button to get in and out, so they're able to see who comes in and out. So like I said, it's just one of those things that we're like, we're just glad that the police and the fire people were able to come and just help whoever got injured, so yeah.
Any information that they're telling you that you can share with us?
I mean, really, we just know that they shot, somebody got shot, multiple people got injured, and I know that they barricaded them for a while, and that's really all we knew, and, we were just kind of stuck trying to leave, and then the police were like, yo, you can't leave, you got to stay here, so it's kind of like, it's been safe. Like, I've been going to the school since February, and nothing like this has ever happened, so, me just being in the area now, and this happened out of nowhere, is just really crazy, so.
Anything else you'd like to add that I'm missing?
I mean, not really. Like I said, we kind of didn't know. Everybody kind of got like terrified at once. And I just feel like we just really couldn't panic. We really had to just kind of stay cool. And, the police were here to do their job, and we just didn't really want to intervene. So I just hope everybody that was involved is safe. So,
Ashley, can you ask him?
Question from
Ashley,
our anchors.
Can you ask him one more question? Can you ask him to describe what the lockdown process was for him and the students at his school?
So they wanted you to describe what that lockdown process was for you and the school.
Really, we really didn't know. We were just in school, and our teacher had just came in and said, yo, it's police everywhere. So we were actually on our way out to leave, and one student literally just left before that, and they just literally told nobody leave. We really had to stay here. I know people tried to leave, and the police said nobody in or out until they deemed our school safe. So,
do you know anyone still under lockdown?
Yeah, there's several students still in there. So they literally just gave us the okay seconds ago that our school, because I think the aviation is next to us and 1500 Sound Academy is right next door where the volume building is. So I guess they just now cleared that to tell us that we were able to leave. So it's been over an hour and a half that we really were just clueless, and we just was like, we're safe in the building. We just started making music. So hopefully, something good happens out of this. So.
All right.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All
so,
right,
Giovanna,
Pimpin'.
you heard them. There are still students still in the building, but they are starting to let people who had been under lockdown exit the premises. Here, we're in, like you said, we're at the corner of Manchester and Aviation, so we're starting to see a little bit more of a crowd grow out here as they're letting people out of this area here they have blocked off.
All right, Ashley Mackey live in Inglewood, thank you. Some of you may be wondering what type of college this is and some more information about it. For that, let's go to Kevin Osbeck. He's live in our newsroom with what we know so far. Kevin?
Yeah, well, Mark, we're learning this is a very highly specialized, very niche college that really focuses on aviation technology and preparing students who want to kind of enter a workforce to work and repair on aircraft. So again, we are talking about some incredibly niche stuff. And as you heard Ashley kind of mention that there are still students in lockdown, we can also tell you as we kind of scour this college's website and learn more about it, there are some very highly specialized rooms, highly specialized labs on this college campus. For example, there are woodworking labs, fiberglass labs, plexiglass labs. So these are materials that are used on aircraft. So these students there are learning how to fix those types of materials. There's also special metal shops on this campus, as well as shops relating to propellers and other types of aviation engines. So again, when we're talking about police scouring this campus, that doesn't necessarily mean they are going and searching typical classrooms. They're looking at some rooms with some very unique, very specialized equipment. Mark, it's also a very small campus. According to its website, these facilities on that campus can handle about 500 students. So we're not talking about a huge campus here. Again, a very small niche campus. It really only offers about 2 different course types, one in aviation maintenance technology, which is an associate's degree program. It also offers a diploma in airframe and power plants. So again, we're not talking about a typical college here, but Mark and Giovanna, it makes sense why this college is so close to LAX. And again, we see that huge police presence here, and we can just kind of see as we're learning more about this college. Again, just very unique stuff, very unique classrooms on that campus, Mark and Giovanna.
All right, Kevin Osbeck, thank you for that update. Again, we are continuing our breaking news out of Inglewood, a shooting and a barricade situation at Spartan College. This is happening on the 8900 block of Aviation near Manchester. You can see the police presence still there. We saw earlier many more police officers and patrol cars on the scene. There is a map of the location there. It's between near Manchester and our.
Just be out of sight. Yeah.
And as of right now, what is he telling you? They're just stuck in the place where they're at right now?
Yes.
Yes,
they're stuck, and I guess the police are getting their statements, and they can't leave until they get their statements.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm a little shaky. I'm just glad he's okay, but I did talk to him on the phone, and I know he was very, very shaken up, and so I wish I could just take him home with me right now, but he's okay. He's okay, and that's the good thing.
And you're going to stay here as long as it takes?
I'm going to stay a little bit longer, and then we'll see, but we don't live too far away, so we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Jacqueline, thank you. I hope that everything turns out okay. Thank you for speaking with us. Again, a very tense situation here, guys. Not a lot of information right now. To Eric's point, we have seen different agencies showing up. LAPD, I did see the LA County Fire Department arriving here as well. We are, quite a bit of distance away. I don't know if, as Sean, photographer, shoots closer to the scene, you can see that green light now turning yellow. That's approximately where that school is at. There are actually several different types of trade schools here in the area. I spoke to another woman earlier off camera who told me that she attends a music trade school, a sound engineering trade school here in the area. She was coming to class and stumbled right into this situation, this scene here that is still unfolding as we speak. So we're going to try to get more information for you from authorities here on the scene. But from the other people I've spoken with off camera, again, very similar to what Jacqueline was saying, they're really worried about their loved ones in there. They want to make sure that they're okay. They are in communication. That is the good news, but no word yet still on when this situation is going to end. So we're going to continue to stay here on the north side of this as another plane gets set to land here at LAX. For now, we'll send everything back to you guys.
Jonathan, I'm not sure if you can hear me through the plane noise there, but what does it appear that the police are doing at this point? They're not searching, right?
So honestly, Colleen, it's quite a distance. I mean, Sean would have a better vantage point with his camera, just because we're a good quarter mile to half mile away from where this is all taking place. So it's tough to see what the officers inside the scene are doing as we speak in terms of a search or whatnot. We don't see any chopper activity. That is interesting to note, but that's probably because we're right in the flight path of LAX. So it's unclear exactly what the officers there on the ground are doing as we speak. Over here where we are, there's really just traffic patrol, not a lot of officers here on the ground. Most of them are inside the scene, but the officer right closest to us is an LAPD officer, so we are seeing that kind of mutual aid in effect right now. Tons of vehicles, police patrol vehicles down the street from us. Unfortunately, we're just that distance.
We got some snacks coming. Australia's elections today. Oh, God help you guys. I hope we don't follow Canada and keep the woke weak clown and enjoy the Aussie snacks. Mellow everyone, send Mel snacks from your native country. Thank you so much. Yeah, I look forward to the Australian snacks, man. The Austria.
All right, Jonathan Gonzalez live there for us in Inglewood, and we want to remind you, folks, it's 5:30, and we continue to follow this breaking news out of Inglewood.
Breaking news.
As we've been telling you, two women were shot here on the campus of Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology. The search for the gunman continues.
Wow.
And we also want to give you an idea of exactly where this is happening. It's in Inglewood. This is a map of where it's unfolding. Aviation Boulevard, this is actually between the Airport Boulevard or Aviation Boulevard and Arbor Vitae. You can see it's not far from the freeway. And as we've heard, they're maybe less than a mile away from the airport as well. We do know that two women were shot. They may have worked in the front office doing some sort of clerical work. They were shot. We spoke with a gentleman who said he'd been talking to them just a few minutes earlier. There was some sort of appreciation luncheon going on. They had just left the room. He had spoken to them, and he heard the gunshots and wasn't quite clear to begin with where they were coming from.
Yeah, he says that initially he thought those shots are coming from outside, but he realized there were about 3 or 4 rooms down from where he was, where that celebration was taking place.
Where the receptionist, according to him, the receptionist was the person that might have gotten shot. Yeah.
And you were telling me he's okay, but you said he had to hide. Tell me a little bit about what he had to go through while he's Well, he's still in there.
Yes, he said once he heard he was about to walk into the hallway, and then he heard the gunshot, so he was looking for somewhere to hide, but there's a big glass window, and so he locked the door, and he was just trying to hide as best as he could, and I think eventually the police came and escorted them out. But he said they took them across the street. There's a rental car place, and so they took them out there. Right now, they're just waiting, I guess, to take their statements because they're not letting them leave. But yeah, I mean, he knows the people that were taken to the hospital. Yeah.
And you were telling me that you're also a teacher yourself. So as an educator, you have to go through these trainings. Of course, you never want to be in a situation where you have to use those trainings. But from that perspective, what are your thoughts?
Scary. It's always scary when we have had lockdowns, but as a teacher, we've been going through these trainings forever. Our students have been going through trainings. I don't believe this is a school for like aeronautics mechanics, something like that. I don't know if they've had any type of training. I know he's new to the company, so I think he was a bit shaken up and didn't quite know what to do at that moment or where to hide because there was a glass window. But definitely as an educator, we go through it and we pray we never have to actually encounter a situation like that. But yeah.
Ashley?
And I think one of our anchors has a question for you.
Yes, Mark. Several questions. Her boyfriend works there. Apparently he's worked there for a while. Does he have any indication of who that shooter might be? Does he know who the shooter might actually be?
Yeah, that's right.
So one question, does your boyfriend have any indication or any knowledge of who the shooter might be?
According to him, he said it was the school security guard, according to him. So that's who he said. That's what he said to me.
The school security guard?
Mark, do you got that?
Yes, we
according
have
to
that.
her boyfriend.
We have that, Ashley. And another question, we have several questions. The two females who were shot, she mentioned one of them may have been a receptionist. Did he know who the other one might have been? Any possibility it could have been a student?
So you mentioned that one of the people who was shot may have been a receptionist. Do you have any idea who the other person who was shot?
No, I don't know. He just said there was a person that walked out into the hallway, and I guess right at that moment, maybe after the receptionist got shot, and then that person got shot as well during that time.
No indication that could have been a student?
No, I don't. He didn't say it was students. It was staff. According to him, it was staff.
Any more questions,
Ashley,
Giovanna, Mark?
Yes. Does her boyfriend know of any kind of tension or situation that might have been brewing, involving this security guard?
So does your boyfriend know of any tension that was brewing or any type of reason that would have sparked this incident?
Not at all. He said, I think everybody was happy it was Friday. They have the weekends off. He said we were all having, we were having a good time. Everybody was working. He was calling students to see if they want to attend at school. And then he heard the gunshots. Yeah.
All right. Does she works there as well?
That we could give any indication of this.
Ashley, Jacqueline works there as well. Does she know this security guard? Is it the same guy that works in the same post every time? And what part of the building did this happen in?
I don't believe, Jacqueline, you don't work for...
No, I do not. I work for a high school.
She works for a high school nearby.
I see. I thought you said she was a teacher. I thought she teaches there.
In school.
Does her boyfriend know this guy very well?
Does your boyfriend know the guy, the security guard, very well?
He does. He does know him. I don't know about very well. I think that he's only been working there about 2 months or so he doesn't know him that well. But yeah, he does know him.
What does your boyfriend know about the security guard?
I don't think he knows much about him. He seemed like a nice guy from what he was telling me. That's why he was like, we were all okay and having a decent time, and then he heard the gunshots going off.
Ashley,
can you say anything that led up to the shooting?
According to him, he didn't hear anything at all.
And yes, Giovanna, what was that?
Can you ask her how many gunshots he heard? Was it a barrage of gunshots? Yeah. Just one or two?
Did he mention how many gunshots he heard?
That he did not mention at all.
Anything else you can think to add? I know we're all just trying to gather as much information as possible.
Yeah, I probably couldn't give you any more. Like,
trying to get a dog, man. Get everything out.
Briefly on the phone once they got out, but I know he was very shaken up, you know. So
Ashley, that was going to be my
ahead,
next
Joe.
question. Thank you. That was going to be my next question. How he's doing. This is likely the first time he's ever experienced something like this. Did he share anything with his girlfriend about that?
So did he share anything about how he's doing? I know you said he hid, he's safe. How is he doing now? How is, his mental state?
I mean, he definitely was shaky, very nervous. He said they have them outside again, waiting for the police to get his statement. That's why they're not letting him leave. I guess he said he'd rather me leave because the person, I think, is still inside. So that's what he told me. But I don't want to leave. I want to be able to take him with me. So
Ashley,
has he ever been through anything like this?
No, maybe old high school parties, and somebody pulled out a gun or something like that, but nothing, I think, to this extent.
IMC, thank you, my friend. I don't know why the thing's not reading the super
Go ahead, Joe.
I just want to share information we just received that we are getting word that the shooter has fled the scene. The shooter is no longer on the campus and anywhere nearby that we know of. Can you ask her if her boyfriend knows if those two people who were injured, did he see them be treated?
So we just got information that the shooter has fled the scene, is not in the campus or in this general area.
You know him.
What
you know where
Giovanna
he is.
would like to know is, do you know if your boyfriend saw the two people who were shot being treated?
And how quickly they received that treatment?
He did see them getting treated. Okay. He said they were removing clothing items, so that they can be able to assess their I guess wounds and so that's what he got to see, but I guess they got taken after that, so but that's what he got to see.
How quickly were they able to get treatment?
That I don't know, because I just talked to him very, very briefly, he didn't give me that information.
You were able to be on the phone with him, or?
Yes, he called me really quickly once they managed to get them out of the building, and they were across the street. There's a rental car place across the street, so he called me quickly there, but then he's like, I gotta go, the police need to talk to me, so yeah.
And Ashley, one last question. I'm sorry, we have a lot of questions.
One last question.
Did he tell her anything about how the students were, how they reacted, where they were being held?
They're chilling.
And if they're still there.
Did your boyfriend tell you about how the students were reacting, where they were on campus, if they were put in a certain area?
I don't know the campus, but from what it seems like, they were in the front area. His office is there. I've never seen it, but I don't believe there's any students there because I think their offices are separated by where the students are receiving classes. So that's all the information he gave me, but I don't think there were any students in that area. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. I really appreciate it. Giovanna, it sounds like there wasn't any students in that immediate area where the shooting took place, which is good news. Still lots of information to uncover, and we're getting it in as we do. We're bringing it to you. Mark,
Indeed.
Giovanna.
Ashley Mackey, thank you for your live reporting from the scene there at the scene of this shooting at Spartan College.
So Spartan, let me see here real quick. Hold on a second. Let me play this. Oh, I can't hear it. Unmute.
So you mentioned
student, the possibility it could have been a student.
So you mentioned that one of the people who was shot was may have been a receptionist. Do you have any idea?
He just said there was a person that walked out into the hallway, and I guess right at that moment, maybe after the receptionist got shot, and then that person got shot as well during that time.
No indication that could have been a student.
No, I don't. He didn't say it was students. It was staff. According to him, it was
staff. That's crazy, man.
No, I don't. He didn't say it was students. It was staff. According to him, it was staff.
Any more questions,
Ashley,
Giovanna? Mark?
Yes. Does her boyfriend know of any kind of tension or situation that might have been brewing? involving this security guard?
So does your boyfriend know of any tension that was brewing incident? Boyfriend know of any tension that was brewing or any type of reason that would have sparked this incident?
Not at all. He said, I think everybody was happy it was Friday. We were
Friday!
having a good time, everybody, the weekend's off. He said we were all having, we were having a good time, everybody was working. Okay. He was calling students to see if they...
Amazing. Who's that? I got another one now?
He's getting an update so we can wait.
But
earlier, we were speaking with Mayor Butts on the phone, and he was the one who said he was getting reports that the shooter was wearing a security guard uniform. Mm-hmm. He wasn't sure if the shooter was in fact a security guard. And of course, those details still have not been confirmed by authorities, but that is what we heard from someone who was at Spartan College.
Right. So this is important. He's getting a briefing, we believe, from his own chief of police there in the city of Inglewood. I heard him say, yes, chief, go ahead, give it to me. So hopefully from the chief to the mayor to Ashley Mackey and to all of you and all of us as we gather this information and learn what we can about this shooting at Spartan College that, according to our latest information, has left 3 people injured, 2 we know of with gunshots, and perhaps a third, all reportedly staff at the college. So the chief is, the mayor is getting some, I keep calling him chief because I knew him as chief too.
Santa Monica Police Chief, right. That's right. I will say that we were getting reports earlier that one of the injured was in critical condition. Mm-hmm. We're waiting to get confirmation of that, but that is the word we were hearing earlier.
Let's go. Chief Butts. Go ahead, Ashley.
So, Mr. Mayor, can you tell us any updates?
About 15:45 hours, about 3:45, there was a shooting, 2 female Hispanic victims. We believe it occurred in an office inside the school. We believe that it's a workplace violence related incident. The suspect, a male Hispanic. 1 victim is in critical condition, the other is in stable condition.
And what do we know about the suspect?
That's all we know, is that he was potentially a former employee and that it may be a workplace violence incident.
Do we know if this
workplace violence
employee was a teacher, was somebody that worked in the building?
I don't have the information right now.
And excuse my ignorance, but I see a lot of cars leaving. Is this over? Or?
Well, when you say it's over, we're releasing people to leave the area because we had the place on lockdown. And so you're seeing people that couldn't leave the campus right now.
Is the suspect still on the run?
The suspect is still at large.
Still at large? Or is he in the building?
No, we have no reason to believe he is still here.
They want to attend the school.
What can you tell me about the students that were on campus? Are they still there? Are they being let go now?
We've been conducting interviews. We did a room-to-room search of the campus to make sure there are no further victims, that there's no suspect or suspect still at large. And now we're in investigative mode, and we've been taking interviews. As you can see now, people are being released.
What information do you have for anyone affiliated with the school? We've talked to several people who have children at the school. We have people who have relatives or loved ones at the school. What information do you have for them at this point?
Right now, the area is safe, has been safe since shortly after the shooting. There's no further suspects, and right now we're going to try and take that person that we believe is responsible into custody.
Okay, and then are people still trapped in there? I mean, they were locked in for a while.
No, they were never trapped in there. They were secured and sheltering in place while the investigation was continuing as we continued the search of the buildings.
You mentioned it's a workplace violence. Was the shooting targeted, the 2 people who were shot?
Well, we're only making that assumption because they were employees and the suspect is believed to have been an employee. So that's an assumption that we're making right now.
Major Boss, when you say you're going to take this person, who you believe is responsible for this, where is he or she and what's going to happen right now?
Well, right now we're following leads as to the person that we believe is a person of interest, and we're going to try and make contact with that person.
But he's been located, or he's still on the run?
I wouldn't want to talk about that right now.
You don't want to talk about that.
I don't want to talk about that right now.
And to be clear, he's still an employee or a former employee?
The information I have is it was a former employee.
But you guys don't have him in custody yet?
He's not in custody at this time.
So it's safe to see he's in the run?
I mean, he's at large right now.
Any idea where he can be? Is he in the perimeter?
He's not in this perimeter,
and I don't want to talk anymore right now about that.
Well, talk about it, man.
But we have a lot of questions. Number one is, if we know that he was a former employee, do we know where he lives? Do we know what he used to do? Do we know where to locate him?
Right now, this is an active investigation.
A face, a name, something. Does he like tacos? Does whatever, you know?
Anything in the way of vehicle description, license plate, anything else?
We don't have any further information about the suspect that we're going to discuss right now. We would rather.
No, we're going to talk about it right now.
And we don't want to conduct an investigation on the airwaves.
Is there anything that the audience, the public in English, Spanish, or any language do to help you to identify him? Anything you want to do?
We believe that we have someone identified. And so if we get to the point where we can't take him into custody, we'll put that information out.
Very much, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Ashley, can
Mark
you,
Giovanna,
can
that
you,
was just Mayor James Butts.
Ashley, thank you. Can you
James
ask him if he has
Butts.
any updates on the victims?
Sure.
Okay, at about 15:45 or quarter before today, we had a shooting.
He's kind of rehashing this with one of the reporters, so we'll get to
That's
Ashley's
okay.
question in a second.
Thank
What's
you.
interesting is, they got this information pretty early about, that this is a former employee that was involved in this. So they have to have his name. I'm sure they must have pretty much all the information you can get within a very short period of time about this individual.
Right.
So
his home address,
Right.
his telephone number, friends and family, maybe. We have Chris Christie in Air 7 over the scene. Chris, what can you add to this?
Yeah, I mean, to the best of our knowledge, guys, they have that information. They are aware of who the suspect is. He did flee the scene in an unknown color uniform, a security uniform, in a blue BMW that is registered to somebody in Monterey Park. We're not giving away the identity of the suspect, but they are aware of who they are looking for at the very least. So that's some good news that'll help them in their investigation here. But the scene out here along Aviation Boulevard is really looking much more stable, and they have given the all clear for the employees to re-enter the school as this investigation gets underway. You can see there are a handful of units left protecting the crime scene. Still, aviation remains shut down, but they have released a majority of the units that responded out here earlier this afternoon. It was an incredible response from departments across the South Bay, as far away as Redondo Beach, Manhattan Beach, Hawthorne PD, Inglewood, obviously, with dozens of units responding out here. And now it does appear that it is entering the investigation phase as they figure out what led to this, what by all accounts seems to be some type of workplace violence. But again, 3 people hurt, 2 of which appear to have suffered gunshot wounds. Unclear about that third injury, whether it was a gunshot wound or some other injury, but we do understand that there were 3 people hurt altogether, guys.
3 people transported, and we're going to try to figure out what that discrepancy might be about. We know of 2 people.
Damn, somebody was talking about, I thought you guys were complaining about the egg prices, and this girl, Shiloh, she's almost at $500,000. Damn. What happened to the egg prices? What's up, man? How you guys doing tonight? Huh? Maddie? Maybe she's in the room, her bedroom. Yo, Aussie, thank you so much for the super chats, man. The Tim Tams Rue Balls and the Vigamet. Huh? In a little bit, I can't right now. Where's your mommy? Yeah. I don't know. Go find her. Australia Elections Day, I got that. Tim Tams, Rue Balls, and Vegemite. I hope it's edible and it's safe, my friend. Thank you so much. Shooter's gone away. Everybody in the house, there's like 4 people here in the house, and nobody, all of a sudden, everybody's just gone. There's only one here. How did the shooter flee? He casually walked away. Casually walked away. Who's Shiloh? That's that chick that called the 5-year-old, the N-word, and now she's got $500,000. Everybody disappear in this house.
There are a number of car rental facilities next door as well. So that's actually where they took some of these what appear to be students and or staff at the aviation school over into the parking lot across the street. It's a National Alamo Enterprise parking lot where people from the airport are still coming and picking up cars, but they're in the middle of this kind of active investigation. So on this side, we're seeing a kind of calm response from police, of course, as that search has wrapped up for the gunman. They don't believe he to be in this area. But as for the investigation portion of this, that is just getting underway to try to figure out exactly what led up to this shooting and the kind of all the pieces that went into what took place this afternoon. Obviously, as you see behind me, there are a number of police officers both out in the street and on the sidewalk, many of them right now trying to get information from these potential witnesses or at least students and staff who were here at the time. Obviously, an ongoing investigation with a number of streets shut down in this area, but we'll send it back to you guys in the studios. We try to talk to some of these folks after they're interviewed by police to see what they have to say.
Okay, thank you, Tim. We'll check back with you a little bit later this afternoon. We are getting confirmation from Mayor Butts that there are, in fact, only 2 victims. One is in critical condition. The other is in stable condition. Apparently, there is not a 3rd victim at this time, according to Mayor Butts.
Okay, well, that is good news. And so in the meantime, though, the search is on for that suspect. Chris Christie giving us a little more information than what the mayor was giving us at the time regarding a description of the suspect's car as a blue BMW and the city in which that car is registered, Monterey Park. So we're going to try to follow up those leads and see if any police resources are being deployed into that area to search for this individual. They believe they know who it is. So it's a question of where and how they can find him. Chris Christie?
Yeah, that's right. They have that information, and that's going to be
news,
a
breaking
huge advantage
news
to them, at least in terms of tracking down more clues. Even if he's not obviously going home, perhaps he's hiding out somewhere, he is on the run. But obviously, it is a priority for not only Inglewood police, but the entire county of Los Angeles, because now you have an armed gunman on the run from law enforcement, and they don't know what he's potentially capable of and what his motivations are from here on out. He just committed a major crime. Unclear, obviously, what provoked this, what his mental capacity is, but in any event, it is going to be sparking alarm bells across the area, because if that vehicle is registered as far away as Monterey Park, obviously that suspect could be anywhere between here and there and points beyond. So there is going to be an all-out effort to track that suspect down, but obviously they're going to be able to talk to coworkers and family members, presumably, and be able to get as much information as possible to expedite that investigation. In the meantime, the situation here at Spartan College is looking much more calm than it was just a couple of hours ago, and just in the last few minutes, they have released a whole lot of the units. A lot of the tactical units and SWAT teams have been released, so now it's just a matter of basically managing this contained crime scene. They even felt comfortable enough allowing people, at least from our vantage point, they appeared to allow some of the employees and folks back into the area here. You can see some of those folks right there in front of the main building at Spartan College. So again, the crime scene tape has moved a little bit. It's a smaller area, but still Aviation Boulevard remains shut down from Manchester Avenue down to Century as they continue this investigation, guys.
All right, Chris, thank you. So we are seeing that the perimeter is being reduced, but Bruce Thomas joining us again. And Bruce, I want to ask you, the crime scene investigators, what are they doing now and what is their goal?
Well, they're going to walk the scene, meaning from the moment you walk on the property to see what the suspect may have done. If there's any surveillance video at the reception desk where possibly the first incident occurred, working their way down the hallway where the second incident occurred, and then also looking at additional surveillance footage from the rental car agency places that are right across the street so that they can maybe get a license plate of this vehicle and then put, like Chris Christie said, they're going to put it out, they're going to do a BOLO on this, an armed and dangerous felony suspect, maybe attempt 187, and they're going to see if they can take this person into custody. My guess is this person may end up in a pursuit later on tonight. I hate to say that, but it just has a gut feeling.
Maybe we get a chase later?
But said this is a workplace violence incident, it appears. Security guards, if this is what the suspect was, in order to have a firearms permit, they have to get that from BSIS, which is the state of California. They also have a guard card. And for a firearms permit, meaning in the holster type of weapon, they actually go through a psychological screening now. Was mandated by the state a few years ago. So there are a lot of factors involved in this. I'm sure the ATF is offering their assistance also because a weapon was used. So it's just one giant puzzle right now.
Indeed. Well, what's helpful is the fact that if, this isn't random, that this is someone that is known to the people there. Either if he worked directly for the school, then there's an employment record with the school. If he works for a subcontractor, a security company, there's an employment record there. There's an application, all sorts of records that would indicate other addresses that could be connected to him. And as you pointed out, getting the license to carry the firearm, there's a background check, we presume. There are things that are able to put that puzzle together rather quickly of who this person is, where he might be located, indicators of where he might be right now.
And we have been getting conflicting information. We heard from Mayor Butts that this shooter is a former security guard, but we heard from a witness whose boyfriend was at the college at the time of the shooting that the shooter was actually a working current security guard. So those are some of the details that obviously will be ironed out. But this is typical to have conflicting information early in investigation.
Yeah, Giovanna and Mark, that's one of the things that happen. Investigators are getting inundated with pieces of the puzzle. I talked to one person, they say, well, the person was 6 feet tall. Another person says, they're 5 feet tall. So, they have to weed out all the good information from the bad information and just make it more finite.
Yeah, it's hard when you get kind of that fire hose of information coming to you, and you've got to pick the things that are relevant that'll help you catch this shooter. Ashley, Bruce Thomas, thank you for joining us. We're going to keep referring back to you as we continue our coverage. Ashley Mackey joining us now from the scene with more. Ashley?
Ashley.
Definitely the crowd around the scene here has picked up quite a bit. We're at the corner of Manchester and Aviation. As you can see behind me, still very active crime scene. They've got law enforcement vehicles all over the place here. We're still quite a ways from the Spartan College, though. You can see down the way there all of the flashing lights. But I also want to point out something we just learned, that this building close to us, this 8619, this brick building here, is a daycare. And there's actually some parents who just went in there because those kids are still being held in there as this investigation continues. And again, safety is the number one protocol. Safety is the number one priority here. Earlier, we spoke with Chris Becker. He's president of Spartan College, and he talked about that, how safety is of the utmost importance. At the school, he described the campus as quiet and safe. He says there's constant patrolling, 24/7 security, and that safety right now, unfortunately, has been threatened, but they are working with law enforcement, with investigators, with the city to make sure that the people who are here now stay safe. And you can see some of these parents, these kids are being walked out of this daycare here. But I want you to hear from President Becker what he said to us earlier.
Campus safety and security are our utmost focus and concern. We have 24/7 campus security here. The campus is patrolled regularly. We go through safety drills, fire drills, earthquake drills. We're an aviation school, so safety is one of the things that we focus on the most. It's a peaceful campus. It's a nice community of students and teachers and staff. We all get along really well, care about one another deeply, and this is hard on all of us.
David, Joanna, you heard him say they go through the training. I'm not sure how much training they go through for an active shooter. I'm assuming, unfortunately, in this day and age, that most schools do go through some type of active shooting scenario. We spoke with one witness earlier here who says her boyfriend was inside. He works for the campus. She says she's an educator. She's familiar with those active shooter trainings. She's not sure how much training her boyfriend went through, but again, no amount of training can really prepare you for this kind of situation. And at the end of the day, you really don't ever want to have to use that training. David, Giovanna.
All right, Ashley, thank you for that information. That's helpful. We're slowly putting the pieces together on this situation. Hello, everybody. This is Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock. I'm David Ono.
I'm Giovanna Lotta. There is still a large police presence at Spartan College in Inglewood, where at least 2 shooting victims were transported. This is a look at the scene right now from Air 7 earlier this afternoon. The shooting occurred at about 4 o'clock, 3:45 actually this afternoon. Mayor James Butts says the suspect is no longer in the area.
Sources and contacts around Southern California. Lots of different agencies have pitched in to try to put this together. They knew there was somebody armed. They knew there was somebody armed and dangerous wanted who had escaped the scene where the shooting happened, and they did everything they possibly could to get the information out as quickly as possible to amplify the reach. It wasn't just Inglewood police searching, it was everybody. And it appears, again, without complete confirmation from any of these agencies, but it appears all of the details are kind of lining up at this point. Someone said to be in custody, car matching the description appears to have been found, and as we've seen in our coverage over the last half hour, the intensity of that scene out at Spartan College in Inglewood, just at the edge of the LAX property, appears to be winding down and shifting into more of an investigative phase. And of course, we heard from the Inglewood mayor that it was no longer an active search, that the person that was wanted for that shooting had fled the scene. So we're trying to find a little more information minute by minute, but this is unfolding by the second here. So we're doing our best to keep up with it and pass along what we can confirm. Back to you guys.
Eric, we know this is Pico Union, but what kind of neighborhood is this? Is it residential? Do we know what these buildings are around here?
Well, it certainly looks like some kind of a commercial building off to the top or the right side of the screen. Pico Union is one of the most densely populated areas in Southern California. Lots of apartment buildings, lots of very old construction homes.
That almost looks like a school.
It could be. It could be. You know, there's a big UPS facility over there. There are a bunch of old factories. Some of those have been converted into offices. For a time, the LA school police had taken over a big industrial building there. So appearances can be deceiving in that area. Commercial buildings that were built a generation, 3 generations ago for one thing are being used for something else. But it's a pretty densely populated area. You know, Wilshire Boulevard, a bunch of the east-west corridors run through there. There's a lot of office buildings just on the edge of downtown. There's some new construction apartment buildings there. And then there's the old construction neighborhoods that are sort of sandwiched and nestled in between. It will be interesting to find out if there's a reason that the car was spotted here, if the police had some kind of an indication that this was a place to go, other than perhaps an alert that that license plate had been detected or had been spotted, or perhaps there was other technology used to triangulate. We know they had a name that they were working off of for the last couple of hours, so this was not just a shot in the dark. I'll also point out before we go that there was some indication that this person may have lived east of downtown Los Angeles, and there was some effort to try to track him down in a neighborhood completely separate from this. So whatever technology or luck weighed into this, it seems like they're on the right track again, with all of the pieces that we've been collecting over the last hour or so appearing to fit together.
Maybe a mixture of both. All right, our investigative reporter Eric Leonard, we appreciate the update. We now want to continue our coverage now with NBC4's Jonathan Gonzalez. Jonathan.
Yeah, Michael, you know, we're just, as Eric mentioned, seeing that posture of officers here and first responders calm down just a little bit more as we're getting word here as well. The mayor walking up to me moments as Eric was reporting it on the air that the suspect was taken into custody. He said Koreatown, Pico Union, both neighborhoods right next to each other effectively there west of downtown LA. The good news is that person was taken into custody following this shooting. You know, this has been a frightening situation for so many people who work on this street, not to mention there was a preschool just here in this red building. We just saw a bunch of parents finally able to go in because this area has now been deemed safe once again and retrieve their children. And you can only imagine when you have a little one of that age, a preschool age, trapped basically in their own school, locked down because they're, you know, in this situation. So a big relief for them. They were out here very stressed out. And we also spoke with a woman, Jacqueline, earlier today. Her boyfriend was in in the school at the time. Her boyfriend telling her that he works in the administration office, that he was in the next room over when this shooting took place around 3:40 this afternoon. The question is, when are police going to give us a formal update? We do expect that there will be a news conference sometime soon. No word on whether it's going to be on this side. We're at Manchester and Aviation. We're on the north side of the school, about a quarter mile north of it, or south where Macy Jenkins has been reporting since the shooting first broke out. So as soon as we get word on that, we'll let you know. But again, the good news here, that suspect taken into custody. Everything here does seem to be calming down a bit, and people who were in that school, a lot of them are finally able to go home. You know, there are people who go to different schools here, other trade schools on this very block, who showed up flabbergasted that this scene was right where they needed to be, and they couldn't get through. They were stunned by what was happening, terrified to know that there was potentially a shooter on the run. Again, the good news right now we can report, just to reiterate, that is no longer the case. That shooter has been taken into custody, but what a scene this has been. For now, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. We're going to go right out to Macy Jenkins. She was one of the first reporters to arrive on scene there. She's in the background where they've really corralled a lot of people who were inside the school. Macy, are they still questioning those folks there?
Colleen, they are. If you'll have a look, I'll have my photographer pan over that way. Remember, about 30 minutes ago, we saw, maybe 30, 40 minutes ago, we saw a group of about 20 people walk over to one of the car rental locations. Well, they have walked back across the street. There are some officers talking to them, but mostly it is just the people that who we believe were inside of the college at the time, and they are speaking with each other. Earlier, my colleague Jonathan Gonzalez, I'll just address something he just said. In talking about a possible press conference, we spoke to LAFD. They were over here just moments ago, and they said they were headed over to Manchester to try to give some kind of official comment on what has happened. So hopefully we will get that very shortly. But again, just to recap, he did tell me the call time was 3:40. That's 3:40 this afternoon when the shots rang out. And now, Colleen, we talked to one of the professors, and he said it sounded like the shots came from inside, but something else that we've just gotten information from an employee at one of the car rental locations. He told me that one of his colleagues heard the shots very faint because they were inside of the building, and ran outside and saw two women collapse outside of the building. So it's unclear if those shots happened inside or if those women were shot inside and then ran outside. What we do know is that one is in stable condition, the other is in critical condition, and the good news is that we do have an arrest made of that suspect. All of this happening in real time. We heard Mayor Butts tell Jonathan they had a license plate that was just before 6 o'clock. Again, we're very close to LAX, so it's hard to hear, but that was just before 6 o'clock. And then as my colleague Eric Leonard was talking over the shots from Chopper, we do know that one person has been taken into custody. What we can tell you as far as looking around the scene here is that the car rental locations are still open and operating for business. LAX is still open and operating. We've seen shift changes, so people are walking back and forth and just being directed around the yellow tape to go into National, Alamo, and Enterprise. We do see some of those employees, they've been directing people who have been driving outside of the rental places to head to the left away from Manchester. And then if we look on the other side, you can still see cars are going, it might be hard for you to see, but cars are still driving in that lot. So business is happening as normal, and the police presence on this street, it stayed the same for about the last 30 minutes, but it's still very heavy. That's the latest. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Macy Jenkins live there for us. We want to now head over to a press conference. Let's listen in.
Press conference, baby. You ready? Está preparada para el press conference.
Hey guys, so while we're waiting for this press conference to begin, this is a member with the LA County Fire Department. He's going to be giving us an update as soon as everyone is ready, and it looks like we're almost in place here. And if you could just begin with your first and last name and your title, please.
Is everyone ready? We're ready. Okay, good afternoon. My name is Engineer Jonathan Torres. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Los Angeles County Fire Department. This afternoon at approximately 3:40, our units were dispatched here to the 8900 block of Aviation Boulevard in the city of Inglewood to a gunshot wound. Units arrived on scene approximately 5 minutes later It was a police standby, so we were on hold until we were given the all clear by the local police department. Approximately 3 minutes later, we were given the all clear to enter the scene, where we discovered one and later an additional patient. Both patients were determined to be in critical condition. Both patients have been transported to local area hospitals, and the units as of now have cleared the incident. As you can see, the immediate location is still under investigation by the local Inglewood Police Department. Any additional questions as far as that investigation is concerned would be directed at the Inglewood Police Department. If anyone has any questions related to our role in this incident, I'll be ready to.
¿Nos puede decir en español la misma información? They were both the victims women?
I cannot confirm the sex or the age. I can confirm there were two patients. They were both critical and both were transported to local area hospitals.
What were their injuries? What's the nature of their injuries?
So the call came in as a gunshot wound. My assumption, this was a shooting. That is all still under investigation, so I can't give any details related to that. But my assumption is they were suffering from a gunshot wound.
Can you talk to us about the condition specific of the victims?
What I can say is they were in critical condition. That means immediate transport as soon as possible to the local areas that which took place.
Gunshots?
Yes.
Can we confirm it was a rifle or a handgun?
That I cannot confirm, sir. That would be a question better directed at the police department.
Were they conscious? Were you able to communicate with them?
I personally did not see them. I do know they were a gunshot wound. Whether they were conscious or not, I cannot confirm that at this moment.
Have their conditions been updated since?
That would be something that the hospital and police department are going to be aware of. We kind of just do the transport to the hospital, at which point we come back and try to do more, effect more rescues here at the scene.
Ingeniero, ¿podría decirnos algo en español?
Sí. Okay.
All right, guys, you heard it there from Jonathan Torres with the LA County Fire Department that would not confirm that the victims were women, but that is what we had heard from other sources, but that both victims were taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds. Both are said to be in critical condition at the time of their transport. Now, since then, we did learn from the mayor that one of the victims is in critical, that one is considered is stable. Stable's not a condition, but that is good news in terms of whatever condition they may be in. So again, that's some minimal information that's directly about the victims in this shooting, very critical. But as far as anything on the police investigation, that's going to have to come from Inglewood Police, who is leading this investigation right now. Again, within the last few minutes, the scene has been cleared. That is some good news for people here. We've seen, preschoolers who were locked down finally go home to their very stressed out parents. We've seen loved ones who, for people at the school and other schools here, very stressed out as well about what's been going on. But they're now able to leave the scene. People who were inside that school were able to leave the scene. No other injuries, but those two victims taken to the hospital in critical condition. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Jonathan Gonzalez there getting some information there from LAFD. And what we do know in terms of the person of interest or suspect in this case, that blue BMW that police were looking for, in fact, has been located west of downtown Los Angeles on Berrendo Street. This is more of the Pico Union area of Los Angeles.
All right, we will continue to follow this story and bring you the very latest as we get it. In the meantime, there was more breaking news today. This happened in La Crescenta. A driver was killed in a chase on the 210 freeway, which tied up traffic out there for hours.
You can see
that chase. It's that black SUV right there. You can see how fast the driver was going before it all came to a violent and deadly end. NBC4's Karma Dickerson live with an update on the traffic situation out there right now. Karma.
Colleen, it's finally winding down here. Investigation that has taken hours here on the 210 East at Ocean View. If you take a look over to the right-hand side of your screen, you see that black SUV that you were just showing. It is now loaded onto the back of a pickup truck as they are finally clearing this out of here. Over to the left-hand side of the screen, the question you had about traffic, still down to one lane eastbound on the 210 at Ocean View as you are heading sort of from the La Crescenta area towards Pasadena. Hopefully that's going to be opening back up. Now we're going to take you back through how all of this unfolded today, starting in the morning. Keep in mind this video can be a little bit jarring to watch, and so we have blurred it in places.
Oh, yeah.
This has been
that was
going
a
on
nasty,
for about 30
nasty
or 40 miles now, but only about 20 minutes because that is just how fast he has been driving.
Fast speeds and a sudden end to a chase where the driver at times was going over 100 miles an hour.
My windows down, I was driving, and I just heard what sounded like a sonic boom. It sounded like, like a firework or something, and that was when he crashed into the pickup truck.
This began around 10 o'clock in Ventura County, according to the Ventura County Sheriff's Department. They were called out to a suspected grand theft at Target in Camarillo. And when they tried to stop the car, they say the car took off, launching a cross-county pursuit. The driver going from the 118 eventually to the 210 freeway, appearing to sideswipe a dump truck. That's when we began blurring the video. The car continues a short distance further before coming to a stop, with a portion of the driver's side hanging off. A driver who asked not to be identified started observing the chase when it was still on the 118 freeway.
That Honda CR-V flew by me at about 100, maybe 110 miles per hour. He was driving in the shoulder, avoiding traffic up ahead, extremely erratic.
According to authorities, the driver of the orange truck was not injured. He stayed on the scene for hours to answer questions from police. And so as we're taking a look at what's happening here live, again, getting to the final stages of this investigation, at least the part happening here on the ground on the 210 freeway with that black SUV just about to be towed out of here. So it looks like it's just going to be about a matter of minutes before the freeway gets back and open, back to normal. But of course, a pretty violent and scary day for people in and around this area. Reporting live, I'm Carmen Dickerson, NBC4 News.
All right, Carmen, thank you. We want to reset here, folks, and sort of decompress for a second as we give you a live look from our camera atop Mount Wilson. We want to bring in meteorologist Melissa McGee. She is live.
Okay.
Everybody else, the fuck.
What's this guy
continue banging on.
That looks really cool. What kind of chat stuff here? I like his setup. All right, man. How you guys feeling Friday night? I guess we can call it for tonight. For now, I don't know about tonight. For now, I'm going to go spend some time with the kids. Do some bubbles, go for a walk. Need to do some push-ups. I got this little chest thing, but I need to... Grand Theft Auto. Small plane crash landed in Riviera County. There's video. Everybody's talking about this. There's video of this. Plane crash. Oops.
Hey.
No.
I'm not moving. I'm not fucking. I'm not fucking.
Why was he saying he's not moving? The shit, it was kind of almost coming towards you. I'm not moving. Fuck that. He needs to respect my rights.
Hey. I'm moving. I'm not fucking. I'm not fucking.
He said I'm moving or I'm not effing moving.
Hey. I'm moving. I'm not fucking.
Oh, I think he said I'm moving. Jesus. I ain't getting none of them little airplane things.
Are they okay?
Yeah. Hey. I'm moving. I'm not fucking. I'm not fucking.
It's wild, dude. Mamma mia. Mamma mia, do me.
Back. We're gonna speed this up. If you're not comfortable with popping your ass, all I want is your hands. Boom, boom.
GTA delayed again. Bro, the freaking X, if you're scrolling X, oh my god, all kinds of stuff is on there. Yeah, I guess that's it for now. Let me go entertain these kids for a little bit. Oh, there was another shooting situation at a mall. Shooting. This was at Spartanburg. It don't even sound nice. Spartanburg Mall. Let's go to the Spartanburg Mall. Sparta!
Right now, for you here on Fox Carolina News, we have been able to confirm with Spartanburg Police that there is a shooting at Westgate Mall, and crews are now on scene investigating. We do know there are minor injuries, but the amount of victims at this point unknown right now. But we do know police are now responding to a shooting at Westgate Mall.
And Fox Carolina crews are on the scene. Right here, we're taking a live look from one of our crews. They're near the mall, and you can just see there is a large police presence. We've been seeing a lot of people asking what is happening at the mall on social media. Police have all of the entrances and exits to the mall blocked off at this time as they're working this investigation. Again, we just got word of this from Spartanburg Police.
And you can see officers are blocking that entrance there outside the mall. We do know that the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office is assisting police in this investigation right now, but all police telling us right now they have confirmed that officers are responding to a shooting at Westgate Mall with minor injuries. The number of victims we do not know, or how many people are hurt at this point, but we have been able to also learn that some emergency responders there in Spartanburg County have told us that there was a call for a shooting at Westgate Mall and at least one person was taken to the hospital. That was according to emergency responders that some of our crews have been able to talk to there in Spartanburg County. So a lot of information here. A Friday evening there at the mall, so very busy situation, very busy scene, very fluid investigation right now.
And just to give you an idea of where this mall is, if you're not super familiar, there's a lot of businesses around the mall as well. There's a Costco right behind the Westgate Mall, and so that's usually busy on a Friday night. And there's several businesses across the street. It's also really close to the interstate and the Westgate Mall. There are lots of areas around the mall. So when we say that all of the entrances and exits are blocked off there, that's a really large area that they're blocking off this evening. Right now, we've not heard if they're letting anyone out of the mall at this point, but we have been told they're not letting anyone in as of now while they work to fully figure out exactly how large this scene is and secure that scene as well. Right now, we've still been asking exactly where this shooting happened and some details to figure out what led up to all of this, but it is still pretty early in the investigation.
Yeah, very few details right now are being released, but we have seen the social media posts. We know a lot of people are asking questions, so we can confirm tonight police are investigating a shooting at Westgate Mall. Again, Friday evening, very busy time for the mall, very busy time for the shops there. Other details are unknown right now, but police do confirm they are on scene investigating a shooting with minor injuries. The amount of people hurt, we are still waiting to learn that. But again, we are in contact with the Sheriff's Office, with police, trying to learn more details. But again, they now confirm that they are investigating a shooting. And you can see one officer there, one deputy blocking that entrance to the Westgate Mall. We'll stay on top of it. Make sure you go and download the free Fox Carolina News Breaking News app so that way we can keep you up to date. You can sign up for breaking news alerts. We're watching this situation closely.
Okay. So I think that's it. I cut off the other feeds. I think I'm gonna cut off Twitch too. I cut off all the other feeds. We're just on YouTube now. Boom. Just YouTube now. Solo. I've been figuring out a lot of technical stuff in the background. Sometimes new technical stuff makes things a little more complicated. But there's also benefits. I don't like this shirt. I don't know. We will see what tonight brings, pimps. What tonight brings. I feel like I need some new sound keys.
I'm an innocent bystander. They saying I drove a getaway car, but I cannot see. I'm legally blind.
So you can't see at all?
Huh? Mama, I love you.
P.O.P.
P.O.P. Hold it down. Right there, good pimp squad.
There's a truck on fire. Oh, it's already out though. Oh, they've been out for a whole hour. Damn, that shit was burnt nasty. Oh. La da 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 da, la da 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 da. Kids. You ready? What a mess. Ryan Garcia pull up to Times Square in a Batmobile. Oh. Fight night. Batmobile. All right, I guess I'm gonna head out for now, man. I will catch you guys. I don't know what's up with the website. It's supposed to be coming up. I think everything's already worked out. Oh, it's up. It's up. It's official. It's official Dizzle. The website is up. Oh. The website is up. Oh. All right. I'll zoom it in a little bit. That's the website. It'll look a little different on the phone, but when you go to the bottom of the web page, you can tell when I'm live. See how it says Ikid Mel, 1,300 people, whatever right now? Let me see what it looks like on the phone. Da-da-da-da. Okay. The only thing on the phone here doesn't say the number of people. The only thing I wish on the phone it'd stick out a little bit more when I was live. Oh, but it does take you to the channel though. I like that. Yeah, the only thing on the mobile version, it shows your live. It shows like the green thing, Ikid Mel, but it doesn't show the number of. I gotta ask about that. Let me ask her one question. It's live. It's live. All right. Streaming. What's streaming on Ikid Mel? So if you need to catch up, you're wondering, you can just go to the webpage. All the latest live streams are right there. You got the mailing list at the bottom. If you want to join the mailing list, join the mailing list at the bottom of the page. You want to know how you can support. You can share the content. You become a member. You can donate if you want. Don't buy merch right now. I got to revamp the merch. You want to submit a tip to me? You can submit a tip. There's a tip submission form. If you just want to check out the members, it tells you like the members stuff, what you get, why join. There's like a whole top area too. The about section. Some pictures and stuff there. Tip, contact, stuff like that. And who knows, in the future, maybe we'll bring more. But you can submit stuff. You want to just, you know what? I wonder if Mel saw this. You can name whatever you want. What kind of tip, breaking news, true crime, missing person, whatever you want. You can, if you want to put some URL links, I appreciate when people put a link, at least, you know. You can put a link. Maybe in the future we'll upgrade it, but for now, this is the new website, just a place that, you know, if somebody's like, well, how can I contact Mel? Or what about the other channels? All the channels are right here. Chases, gaming, politics. You want to know my social media? Everything's here in one place. All my social media. Everything's in one place. Discord is in one place. Snapchat. I don't really use Snapchat much, but Snapchat's there. All right, so one place. Oh, and the ways to support too was kind of cool. Of course, if you want to donate, there's the Streamlabs, PayPal, Cash App. There's the membership, but also just sharing videos. You can go to share the channel. That helps out. You can shop on Amazon. So I have stuff on Amazon. I need to update. I need to make a cooler list, but you can either check out the list here. I have like really techie computer stuff or just regular stuff. Want to check out the regular products I have on here. My favorite colognes, just household products that I love. The gangster brush. The gangster brush that everybody wants to use. And I have to keep that brush on lockdown. I'm going to add some more to this, but even if you don't buy off of this, I think it puts a code on there and I earn like a little commission. So if you're ever shopping on Amazon, you're like, oh, let me click one of Ick and Mel's thing and then go buy whatever I want or buy something that he has or whatever. But I got to add my new headphones on here and some more household products and stuff that I like. These are these speakers I have in the house right now under my desk. I really like these just for, you know, whatever. This is my MacBooks on this. This chair is actually really comfortable. I'm not using that chair right now, but I had Maddie on it the other day. The Halo is freaking amazing. I love the Halo. This is my favorite cologne right here. Coach, I wear this all the time. I have Sauvage. Sauvage gives me a headache. Blue by Chanel gives me a headache sometimes. This is my old classic one, Chrome. I used to wear this a long time ago. My favorite wallet, Code 118, but I heard they got new ones now. I have this wallet in red. So I'm going to try to update it though. All the stuff on here is stuff that I actually have. Yeah, that brush. Where's my brush at? That brush is my favorite brush. Oh, here it is. I love the 260. It's the best brush I've ever had. I'm telling you. The hair just moves different. Ain't nothing like this. But anyway, yeah, so the Ick and Mel page is up and live. I should have made an area for data still, maybe. I don't know, but Moo. 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 Oh yeah, I gotta send her a picture. The only thing. On desktop, it shows. All right, perfect. Perfect. Professional website. It's a good place. It's good for SEO and get to have all my links in one place. Easy to go. Ick and Mel CC chases. Actually, damn. I should have told her to fix that too. Ick and Mel chase. Ick and Mel CC really, but I might be able to do it myself. There's a gaming channel, politics. Boom, boom, boom. I love it. Is Island Thrifts. I found what the hell you were talking about when you said balls on my head, the logo. I took this screenshot. I think were you talking about the shorts video that I did? I might have to adjust it because now I can't unsee it. I purposely took this horrible screenshot. Hold on. Are you talking about this? The logo like sitting on the top of my head? It's supposed to be handcuffs, but I don't know. ickandmel.com. Yeah, I'm gonna set up a command and a link. And maybe I can shorten my description page too with all the links and stuff. 100 links. I could just put ickandmel.com. I think that's sufficient. Website. All right, I guess that's it. I guess we're out. Moose and squirrel. Moose and squirrel. I'm restricted again on Facebook. Well, I don't know if maybe they'll be able to fix it. Live stream ads are restricted, but maybe they'll fix it. So just text and pictures are making revenue there. But I feel like it's weird because I feel like Facebook and Twitter is restricted. I haven't grown. I've been stuck at 94,000 followers for a very long time on Facebook. It just doesn't move. And now Twitter also, I'm stuck at 21.8K. Like it just doesn't, but it just stays there. Like something happened. I don't know what happened. The free speech platform. I don't know what happened over there. Maybe they didn't like me posting links. Maybe they didn't like me directing traffic away from X. Just lame. It's lame. Oh, you know what? I'm curious. Let's try something else. Hold on, let's see. Oh, snap. Okay. There's a website there. I might have to fix this screen here. This different background. I didn't want like a moving background for this area. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, maybe that could be a possibility. I don't know. Let me see. I don't know. I'll figure some other image out. Did I miss everything? Yes. You missed everything 2 hours later. I'm sorry. Might have to rewind. X wants all the data. Yeah. Facebook is it's crappy. At one point I was making some good money on there. There was one year I made more money on Facebook than YouTube. But those days are gone, man. Facebook is just so like any little thing you say, they take your post down, they put you in Facebook jail, they take your post down. You're restricted, you're temporarily banned, they don't recommend you. At least Facebook tells you when they shadow ban you. Facebook will literally tell you if you have a page and you're monetized, they'll tell you we're not recommending. That means we're not going to show your page to anybody. At least they tell you. Not X. X, you just don't really know. You just have to kind of figure it out. Facebook's just kind of like, ugh. Well, the only reason I'm on there that I have a page is because I have a page and to try to grow the YouTube stuff, you know, and to have more eggs. And I mean, YouTube, I think is the best place to stream. But, you know, Twitch can be good too. I have a very small following there. If I was active there, I'm going to try to be active now. There's a lot of potential to make money there, but those people will kick your ass out too real quick. They'll delete your channel, ban you. They'll get rid of you so quick. No, I don't think I'm shadow banned on YouTube. Hi. Oh, okay. What is? Oh, it's homemade pizza. All right. Thank you guys. All right, I'm gonna get off. Homemade pizza. All right. Okay. I see you, pimping. All right. All right. Yeah, Twitch has like these crazy radical people. Yeah, I wouldn't last long. I think the only reason I haven't gotten in trouble over there is because I'm so small. You know, like I have 2,000 people there and nobody really watches my streams there. But if you start getting big, you start noticing, oh. All right, guys, I'm going to catch you later. Love you guys. Bye. Be safe. Have a good night. The weekend is here. It's on my face. Weekend is here. Paper dish. Yeah. Yeah, paper, man. Just do 100 dishes. Yeah. Bye. Cheese ain't melted. No, that's just the cheese is melted, but that's like sprinkled cheese on top. You know? We'll try. I guess I'll try it. I think it's melted on. That's good. Take care.